Hey.
What?
Oh, forgot. Hold on. I'm glad we messed up right there because I forgot to do one.
Oh,
thing.
we messed up? Is that what we did?
Okay, I messed up.
Just the two of us? We can make it if we try?
Okay. All right.
Just tell me when.
Now.
Hey, welcome to the Michelle Mission, 2 Men, 1 podcast, every black film ever made. My name is Vincent Williams, and I am joined, as always, by my partner.
Hey, what's up? This is Len, a.k.a. the Bat Triple.
And on tonight's stop, we visit some old friends as we check in once more with Calvin and all the cast of characters in Calvin's Barbershop in 2004's Barbershop 2, the sequel to Barbershop and the second part of the, dare I say, Barbershop trilogy. But before we get our joints tightened up,
get our lines,
get lined up.
Get lined up.
Get lined up.
Most definitely. We want to wish each and every one of you a hearty hello. Hello, everybody out there watching us streaming live on Facebook as well as on YouTube via StreamYard. Shout out to Aaron Fry, George Kimona, Deborah Battle, and Summer Willow, who is also all of them watching us live.
Good evening, folks. Good evening. Good to see you.
Well, I wish we could see them.
Figuratively.
I wish we could see their figures.
See.
George Kimona
We're gonna have to go to a workshop. We're gonna have to go to a workshop.
We gotta go to a DEI.
Right.
Workshop.
We're gonna go through some training. Have you had those trainings at work where you got to go through the training and then it's a quiz at the end of the module?
Yes.
And like they won't let you fast forward.
No, exactly.
Right.
You're like, I know this. Like, no, you don't.
I know.
You don't.
So we have to go through a training.
Not at this job, you don't. We've got different people.
Yes.
Anyway, but as always, we like to start things off going to our listener mail. We got an email from Belinda Silber, Vince.
Hey, Belinda.
Asking, do you do documentaries?
Oh.
If you do, please add Time to your list. Yeah. A wonderful doc about how prison affects family and how love conquers all.
Yeah, you keep threatening to crack the seal on documentaries.
I have a couple lined up for the road to 25, road to 300. Okay. I have a couple lined up for that because I think we at the end of the day landed on, if the documentary was released to theaters, then technically it's a movie. And we should review it. And the films that I have chosen are ones that were released in theaters.
Okay.
Now, we can't just as a blanket rule say yes, we're doing documentaries, because that opens it up. That's a can of worms that we can't, especially in the world in the days of streaming.
Sure. So same rule as the movies is what you're saying,
right?
If it was released in the theater, okay.
If it released in the theaters,
I'm with it.
There you go.
So Time was Time released in the theater? Did that come out? I think it's in that gray COVID area because it came out, I think, last year.
Yeah. See, and see, that's the thing. Like, I don't know if y'all heard that. There's a loud car roaring past the outside right now. That's the thing. Like, there are, in the days of COVID,
right?
And this did come out in 2020. Time.
And it's supposed to be very good. I haven't seen it, but it got some very good press.
It did. Now, it came out in 2020, directed by Garrett Bradley. Follows Sybil Fox Richardson fighting for the release of her husband, Rob, who is serving a 60-year prison sentence for engaging in an armed bank robbery. The film premiered at Sundance in 2020 and was released theatrically on October 9th of 2020.
Well, there you go.
So there you go. All right.
It is in our wheelhouse.
You're right. The shame of it is, now here's the thing. It was nominated for Best Documentary Feature in the Academy Awards. And I think that's fair because it was released to theaters.
Okay.
But you know what documentary was also nominated for Best Academy Feature? Not in 2020.
Okay.
But in the year it came out. And I think it's both.
She's a Bad Mama Jamma, the Carl Carlson story.
No. I think that went right to Quibi.
Okay. Right.
The documentary was America versus OJ.
Oh,
the ESPN documentary,
goodness.
Which is phenomenal.
Yes,
it is absolutely phenomenal, worthy of praise.
Yes,
but it shouldn't be nominated for an Academy Award. It
Why?
wasn't released in theaters.
Well, how was it nominated for an Academy Award if it wasn't released in theaters?
That's the thing. I see now,
because let's be clear, it was absolutely good enough.
It was. Now I'm actually conflating because I know it was nominated. And now I'm saying, was it nominated for Academy Award or for an Emmy? And actually, to me, I don't think it should have been nominated for an Emmy either.
Because
at the time it was streaming.
I thought you were mixing it up with Born Free, the documentary about the lions.
No, that's
something else.
That was totally something else.
That was something else.
That's the dramatization. Wait a minute. Oh, Made in America. It was OJ Made in America.
Calamity Park, by the way, is the name of the documentary I was trying to think of the name of before we start broadcasting.
But thank you for bringing in that non sequitur into the live.
We're talking about documentaries. We're talking.
Yeah, but it will have no context on the show.
Per our conversation, I laid out breadcrumbs so people knew what I was talking about. I said, it was a documentary. It was relative to a conversation that we were having previously. I didn't just say Calamity Park.
Okay. It was OJ Made in America.
Yes.
The 2016 American documentary series that was on premiered on ESPN, part of their 30 for 30 series. And I was wrong. It was nominated for a Primetime Emmy Award for outstanding directing for a nonfiction program.
Yes.
No. I know I was right. It won the Academy Award.
Okay.
For Best Documentary Feature in the 89th Academy Awards.
Was it released theatrically at some point? Which I don't understand because it was like a 5-night deal. How did it win an Academy Award?
Oh my God. I'm reading here.
Okay.
OJ Made in America premiered at Sundance in January 2016 and was theatrically released in New York and Los Angeles in May of 2016.
Why are you saying it like that? It sounds like it was released in the films then.
Yeah, but like you said, man, I can't believe that they released the whole thing theatrically.
I mean, it was really good.
Yeah, but it was like 7 days. It was like 5 days.
I have to say, I probably would have come back all 5 days. I didn't need to see it on the big screen.
Yeah, it says the documentary had a theatrical run with 2 intermissions at the Cinema Village in New York City and the Lymel Theater in Santa Monica, California from May 20th through the 26th of 2016. That's crazy.
I mean, I guess.
That's crazy. I guess, but I don't know. It seems like that's not fair. Anyway,
they did just sort of bully their way into an Oscar.
I know, right?
They did sort of bully their way.
It doesn't seem fair to me.
Like they were like somebody made a documentary about like a trailer park in Iowa, and then somebody else made a documentary about some starfish that were going extinct. And then they said, and then we have this.
What year did I Am Not Your Negro come out?
Was that 2 or 3 years ago?
I Am Not Your Negro came out. I just want to check and see when that came out.
Okay.
That came out in 2016.
That was also in 2016.
That was theatrically released. It was not streaming.
Oh,
it was not on television in any way.
I Am Your Negro then.
Yes.
Oh,
see, it's great.
No, I get
but it's not fair.
Like I said, you're right. You just sort of bullied your way in.
Right. Yeah. You win the Emmy I'm with you.
Yeah.
The Academy Awards?
Yeah.
That's not fair.
You've really got to be in your bonnet about
I've got a hornet's nest in my bonnet.
If you will. A hornet's nest. I got stung by a bee last week.
Really?
I did. It was like in the grass and it stung me in the ankle. B, there was a hornet's nest actually hanging from a tree in my neighborhood.
I have no sympathy for you with your bee sting.
You have no sympathy because you thought I deserved to get stung by bees.
Where were you when you were stung by the bee?
I actually walked. You know how when you're on the sidewalk and the sidewalk, now you're about to feel bad. Because I was walking with Wendy and we were on the sidewalk, and you know how sometimes the bushes, people don't cut back the bushes, and the bushes were leaning over the sidewalk. So I let her stay on the sidewalk and I walked over in the grass, and it was in the grass.
Okay.
Now you feel bad, don't you?
I don't feel bad, but
you feel bad. You wish you hadn't said that. Like now that I had the story about, and you set yourself up because I could have made up any kind of story about the bee. I was saving orphans. I was pulling a puppy from out of a fire. And I stepped over into the grass and was stung by bees.
I was pushing a seal back into sea.
Back into sea, exactly. Nia Long had dropped her bag. And I went and picked it up and handed it to her. And then I got stung by the bee. So you set yourself up.
Summer Willow says, take it back, Len. I'm not taking it back.
See?
I'm not taking it back. I'm not. Because I thought you got stung someplace else. And so maybe I should take it back. I apologize.
Why are you being so
I don't know. I'm in my feelings.
You thought I was rolling around in some honey or something?
What? Anyway, Bree 517 says that she heard about Calamity Park, about that wild and dangerous amusement park. I've watched that documentary on HBO.
Yes, an excellent documentary.
It's an excellent documentary, and that joint was a clusterfuck.
Yeah. Had you heard of it?
No,
me either.
But it sounds like when you watch it, it was
like a North Jersey,
like 80s, early 80s. Yeah. So. And definitely, there wasn't a lot of brothers and sisters.
There were not. And I noticed that looking at the footage. And you do, I think for a lot of us, our default is, oh, that's some white people nonsense.
Yeah. Right.
But it was fascinating.
Right. Now, black people nonsense is, have you been watching on YouTube or TikTok?
No, I'm probably going to say no to this.
The Hood Olympics, specifically the milk crate
thing.
Challenge.
Yeah. I have.
I spent a Friday night, this most recent Friday night,
laughing
my brains off
with people falling and hurting themselves.
With a couple of friends, sitting here until way too late in the evening,
just watching people falling and hurting themselves.
So stupid.
Yeah.
Oh, stupid.
I always say young people force you to become old because it's like, I know y'all have something better to do.
Yeah, but it wasn't just young people. There was a lot of pop-pops.
I know.
There was a lot of pop-pops taking L, dog.
I know.
There was a whole lot of pop-pops taking L's.
I know. But I have seen them. I just I know it's a book somewhere that people can be reading.
True, right? All right, here we go. We got an email from Deborah Battle.
Oh, hey, Deborah.
Still in the email phase of the show.
Yes.
Listening to some of your older reviews and wondering if there was a movie review that you would like to have a do-over.
You can go first.
No, I want you to go first.
Do-over is strong. Do-over is strong. I will say that this happens to me all the time. I forget to say something.
Oh, yeah.
And on the ride home, I'll yell, I meant to talk about that aspect of the film or this, that, and the other.
Right.
The only episode that I always go to where I think I would come close to a do-over is Beyond the Lights.
Okay.
because in retrospect, I was still really, really angry at what's the brother's name?
Oh, I know who you're talking about, but I can't pull his name real quick. I will pull his name right now.
And I think that colored my review.
Nate Parker.
I was still really like sort of
in your feelings about
about Nate Parker. I'm not going to say in my feelings because that's not a phrase I think I'm comfortable using about myself with my own emotions. But I was really angry at Nate Parker. And that informed some of my thoughts.
Oh, I see.
And I've circled back and watched it again.
Watch the film again. Right. I would seem to remember being able to detach myself from any feelings about Nate Parker and just really just being amazed at how much I seem to enjoy the film.
Right. And I seem like I didn't.
Right.
Yeah, I seem like I didn't.
Right.
But that's mine. You?
I mean, I wouldn't do over The Last Dragon. Even though I have come to recognize its cult status for a lot of people, but I still contend my feelings for it. Maybe they're just not as strong.
Right.
But there's one movie that I would definitely do over.
Oh, what?
One review I would definitely do over, and that's Black Dynamite. And that's because that's the review that you weren't here.
We said we were going to do Black Dynamite,
and
we just haven't gotten to it yet. Right. So in my mind, Black Dynamite is just on the we might maybe road to 300.
Maybe because in fairness, I would want to do it with you, but I would want to give Daryl the opportunity to be the guest.
Just bring him back
because Daryl Charles
sounds like we're programming.
Right, he sat in for you.
Right.
And then the other movie that I'm up to rewatching, and doing a new review of is Big Words. Because I recognize that we reviewed that film very early in our run, and I think that I was still developing exactly how I wanted to approach critiquing these movies.
And you have a larger perspective, which we can say about all of them.
Exactly. Exactly. Your perspective changed. My
your perspective
has totally changed on Harry Belafonte over the course of these many movies.
My 10th grade English teacher said, "You never see the same Shakespeare play twice because your perspective changes."
Right.
Every time you see it, you bring something new to it. So
right. So I would be up for rewatching and reviewing Big Words.
I've had the germ of a thought about a remix review, which is basically that. Like if you ever
take another stab,
or I don't know if my daughter is listening. If she is listening, hope she can text me real quick in real time. There is a cooking show where now 10 years later, the dude has come back and he's almost doing a director's commentary to the old episodes.
Really? Oh, what? Oh, I want to see. What show is that?
It is. What is?
Is it on Bravo or something?
I don't know. Camille DVRs it, so sometimes we watch it. But it's
like
Camille
watches it.
Oh, Camille,
because she's
right, because she's a little chef, right? What is the name of that show? It's like the white guy. He's a scientist, and he but he became like a cooking guy. Good Eats.
Okay.
Good Eats, and now there's a show called Good Eats Reloaded. So it's most of them. They're like 10 years. It's 10 years later, and he'll play the original episode, but then he breaks in. And says, at this time, something, this kind of stove, I used to make it this way, but since then I've learned to do this, that, and the other. And then he says, okay, back to the episode.
Oh, wow.
And I would love to do, with our immense free time, since we're both gentlemen of leisure, that we just sit around in the garden looking at the splendor of nature.
I would be down for that.
In the midst of our free time, maybe we can do that.
You know what? We should remix Big Words. Big Words is about hip hop.
We can remix Big Words. So like we would play the episode and then like cut in every now and then in the episode and say, you know, this, that, and the other.
Yeah. But we should do that. We should absolutely do that.
Right.
Okay.
So here you go, folks. It's programming in real time. Once again, here on the professionally run, immensely polished podcast enterprise that is the Michaud Mission. Brought to you by Lynn Webb, professional podcaster, and Vincent Williams, professional podcaster. So thank you, Deborah.
Thank you, Deborah. Thank you. Like that. I like that. Mm-hmm. And thanks. And you saw this on the Facebook group. I didn't, but thanks to whomever pointed out that they thought it would be a good idea for us to start putting timestamps in our on our show descriptions,
which in fairness has come up.
It's come up a couple of times, more than a couple
of times. So
so putting timestamps in the show notes as to exactly when the review begins,
right?
And I think that is actually a very good suggestion, as we are nearing 300 episodes, and I have just recently completed the transition of all of our episodes onto our new website. I can tell you right now, we're not going to go back and put timestamps in bulk of them. However, we are committed to going back. Well, first of all, starting with our show tonight on Barbershop 2, we are going to put a timestamp in the show notes exactly when the review begins. And through the assistance of my good partner, Vincent, we have committed that we will go back through June. Oh, excuse me. Go back through June of this year. So
right.
Summer 2021. And put timestamps in those episodes,
right?
At least, and then
we'll work on trying to do the big ones.
Maybe some of the big
ones,
like
the Tyler Perry episodes, the
Tyler Perry's Driving Miss Daisy. That's a big
Daisy,
popular one. Last Dragon.
The
people seem to like that.
Daughters of the Dust.
That was a good one. Yeah. So and I'll leave that to you.
Okay.
I'll leave that to you.
All right. So there you go. All right.
The ones.
There
you
go.
There you go. All right. We also got another email from Deborah Battle that I thought might be kind of cool.
Okay.
Because as you know, ladies and gentlemen, we are about that time. We've actually marked it out. It looks like it'll be in November that we will be beginning the road to 300.
All right.
I can't wait.
So we hit from 275
to 300.
To 300.
Crazy, great shows.
All right.
We've got more than a few very special guests. Some of your favorites returning to the show, and one or two new guests. And Vincent and I we're going through and selecting films. We already know what episode 300 is going to be.
We do. Now I don't know if you've done My Mother Told Your Mother back and forth.
I did it.
Whose episode is 275? Mine or yours?
I can tell you right now. 275 is yours.
Perfect. I know what 275 is going to be. Yes. Perfect.
275 is yours. But Deborah Battle, and we've been asking people to email us their suggestions. We got more than a few suggestions. And she has a couple of suggestions. I'm not going to read all of his suggestions, but she has a question.
Okay.
What do you think about the movie Pinky? It's supposed to be about a black woman.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But the actress was white.
Mm-hmm.
Can we really say it's a black movie?
This is the imitation of life question.
Yes.
Yeah, this is the imitation of life question. And I think, like all of our answers, it is one that is ever evolving. At this exact second, I know I always stand with it. It is about blackness. So I would say yes. And have you seen Pinky?
No.
I've never seen it. I believe part of the reason that the actress is white is because she has a white love interest, and certainly,
I think it's something like that.
Right, we can't have you coloreds touching those pristine alabaster white lips.
Pinky is from 1949. Now, a film that we did review, which is from the 50s, I believe. Oh, excuse me, 1964. We did review Black Like Me, starring James Whitmore as a reporter who poses as a black guy down the south
through science. Because remember, he took pills.
Oh, did he take?
Remember,
pills?
he took pills.
I don't think
I've taken pills.
I don't seem to remember him taking pills.
And he went into the nightmarish hellscape. That was blackness.
That wasn't it. He was a liberal white journalist who darkened his face and hands, and to some degree his
What
body.
did he use?
I'm pretty sure he didn't take pills.
I believe pills were involved.
I don't remember him taking
think there
pills.
Were pills involved.
No, I don't believe
because it was science.
I don't believe that was. I don't believe pills were involved in it. But we did review that.
We did.
So to me, if we review that, then Pinky is definitely on.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
All right. So there you go, Deborah.
And Pinky is another film that's come up.
Yes, it has.
I'm actually surprised.
Aaron Fry is actually surprised that we've never seen Pinky. Well, part of the reason of this exercise is we haven't seen every black film.
We haven't seen them. Like some of the ones we haven't reviewed them because we haven't seen them. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Aaron.
And Lynn is the old-timey one.
Trust me. Yeah.
Lynn is the old-timey one. All them old-timey movies and people had a skinny shirt, skinny ties, and in the parlor. That's Lynn's bag.
What do you mean skinny ties?
Real skinny ties.
There were skinny ties in the 80s and 90s.
Yeah, but it was a throwback. I mean the skinny ties, they were all standing in the parlor. Like, wow, they've been in the parlor for a really long time talking.
Excuse me, I want to see a movie where Ruby Dee doesn't have gray hair. I'm sorry. Yes. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Okay. I want to see her when she was, young.
Yes.
Okay.
Jeez. Bradford Covington in Shadow of the Dove. Directed by Jonathan Witherspoon.
I do not want to see a film directed by Jonathan. Oh, we've lost Jonathan Witherspoon. John Witherspoon.
I said Witherspoon. I was just making up an old-timey white name.
I'm thinking about the actor.
Like I said, Bradford Covington.
Well, I know.
That's not a real actor, is it? Or is it?
It could be.
I was about to say, did I hit one?
I was thinking about John Witherspoon, the actor who we lost.
Oh yeah, well I'm not. Yeah.
Well, so you said Jonathan.
Yeah.
I mean, you saying that
John Witherspoon directing a film may have been interested.
I don't know about that.
Well,
I don't know that. See now, George. See, we've opened up a whole can of worms with Pinky and Black Like Me, and of course, the Imitation of Life.
Imitation of Life.
Because now George Kimona is oh God, of course Robert Monroe has the answer, and then he says that yes, he did take pills or injections that make white.
I knew it was pills. We talked about it.
Maybe we did. I don't remember. I
because it was ridiculous.
I reviewed the movie,
right,
and then I put it out of my mind.
Then Lynn forgets about it immediately.
We won't be remixing Black Like
Me.
We won't be. But George
episode,
Kimona says, like, we've opened up the can of worms because now he wants to know, where does Soul Man fall?
You know what? I think Soul Man very neatly falls into our wheelhouse. And Soul Man is a film that I want to review. I don't know if it'll be Road to 300, but I think Soul Man is, here you go, Lynn. I think it is such an unintentional snapshot of that moment. I actually think Soul Man, if I talk about it long enough, Soul Man might sneak into my Road to 300.
No,
I think it is such an 80s movie on race.
Look,
everything about it.
I'm going to throw a flag on the field. If you try to get me to watch Soul Man on the Road to 300.
I mean,
it's
also a film that's been lost. And by lost, I think Hollywood has tried to bury it.
Fair enough.
Well, look, you did it. Say it with your chest. You got all that wild shit to say about these blacks in their affirmative action. Say it with your chest. Don't punk out now. You said it, you meant it.
Well, that's true.
So,
Very true. All right. Let me see. Are there any other emails before we keep moving? That is it.
That's it for the emails.
Yes.
News. Congratulations to Nia DaCosta, first Black woman to have a #1 film in the theaters.
Yes.
With Candyman.
Yes. Have you seen Candyman?
I have not. I ain't going to no theaters in 2021.
You're still not going to the theaters.
I'm not going inside a theater in 2000. I don't plan on it. It's funny. My friend Monica was saying she is navigating the theaters by utilizing the ticket app, where you pick your seats.
Yeah.
And she says she's been looking at showings, 4 showings where nobody is there. Basically, like 2 or 3 people are in the whole theater, and she's like, "Okay, well, I'll go to this showing."
Right.
And I haven't thought about that much.
That's what a lot of people have been doing.
Yeah. But I'm not really planning on it.
I know someone who saw Candyman, enjoyed it. In fact, my friend Kennedy, Storm Tribble from the Black Tribbles, she saw it. She enjoyed it.
Interesting.
And she is just like you. She is very skittish about going to the movie theaters. But she went to an afternoon showing, and there was about maybe 10, 20 people in there.
Yeah.
And all very, distance from one another.
And if I'm going to do it, I feel like something like, because, in my heart, I don't even really want to watch it because it's going to be scary. But I feel like you should do it in the theater. Just go ahead and be real scared.
Exactly. And I would do it even if it was also streaming. I don't think it's
streaming. Right. It's not streaming yet. Of course, it might. You saw they're streaming the Aretha Franklin film early.
Yeah, I did see that.
So unfortunately, I think because it wasn't doing that well.
I know.
So I don't want it to happen to Candyman.
Me neither. But I think Candyman, by virtue of it being a horror film,
right?
They wanted to at least keep, if it can keep enough momentum
through Halloween,
or at least to get into October, then it should be good.
Very happy for her though.
I'm very happy for her.
And for the whole cast.
Yeah.
A lot of our favorites in there. Yahya Mateen,
Abdul Mateen.
Yeah, Abdul Mateen, Tiana Paris.
Yes, Tiana Paris. I'm just gonna live here on Paris for a minute.
Hey man.
I do want to see it in the theaters. Here's my thing. I'm not super skittish about going to theaters. As long as I'm distant, I'm fine.
Okay.
Right. However, I just don't like going to the movies by myself.
Okay.
Right. So I'm trying to find someone to go to the movies with me. But a few of my friends, they don't like horror movies.
Right. You've actually got a couple of layers.
Yeah.
That's keeping
what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, geez, and then my friends that do like horror movies, they they can't go,
right,
or they're my friends, but I don't go to movies with them. I mean, you don't go to the movies with all your friends,
right?
You know what I mean? Certain friends, but so that's my dilemma. So I've got to find a friend that will go to see.
You don't like going to the movies by yourself? That's strange. You seem like a dude that could get into that.
No. I have gone to the movies one time by myself. No, that's fair. That's not true. 2 times by myself. One time I went, the tickets were bought and the person got like caught up in an emergency and couldn't go. So I was like, all right, well, I'm just going to go. And I didn't even really enjoy the movie, but it was whatever. But the only other time I went to the movies was me trying to tell myself, I'm going to go to the movies.
I'm going to be one of those
Saturday
guys.
Afternoons. I'm going to go to the movies.
I'm going to be a go to the movie by myself guy.
Right.
Yeah.
And this was a long time ago because the movie was Cobra with Sly Stallone.
Well, you pulled that one out. I don't think I ever would have guessed you went to see Cobra with Sly Stallone.
Dude, I was single. I was like, I'm gonna go to the movies.
Go to the movies.
You never know.
Let's go see Cobra.
Let's go see Cobra
with Sly Stallone.
You know what I mean?
He's wearing glasses. He's wearing sunglasses.
Shades.
Right, he's wearing sunglasses.
He's got Brigitte Nielsen on the back of his motorcycle.
Oh, I forgot Brigitte Nielsen was in Cobra. I just remember he had on his sunglasses.
You know,
Sylvester Stallone, as you've never seen him, with sunglasses.
I think his name was like John Cobra.
John, right. Did he have a beard? Did he have? He had like the little stubble beard and the sunglasses.
Yeah. You know, leather.
He was trying to stretch out.
You know. He's trying to un-Rambo himself.
You said Cobra with Sylvester Stallone. Okay, so you went to see Cobra by yourself.
I went to see Cobra by myself.
You know, got some pretzel bites, sat in the middle of the theater.
I think this was actually even before pretzel.
They hadn't invented pretzel bites yet.
You
had like a Baby Ruth.
I had popcorn. and
Cracker Jacks.
No, I had popcorn, probably a soda, because I was drinking soda then. And
it's like Mr. Pibb.
It wasn't Mr. Pibb. Shut up. So, but I do remember. I don't remember exactly the scene, but something happened on the screen, and I looked to the side, and I was like, "Oh, I can't do this again." There was nobody. First of all,
there was some action unfolding in Cobra,
and
starring Sylvester Stallone.
I wanted to comment,
and you wanted to comment on the action.
Now, it didn't help that there was maybe 15 people in the theater.
He doesn't talk about Cobra much.
No,
Sylvester Stallone doesn't talk about Cobra. You know what I found out this weekend? Tommy Guns in Rocky V was a real boxer.
You never knew that?
I thought he was because it was a made up Don.
Oh my God!
It was a made up boxing promoter. Not Don Cornelius. Was
Don King?
It was a made up Don King. I'll sue you. So I thought the boxer dude was made up too.
God, you really just don't like sports.
And no, this is my defense. Remember, they didn't actually box because they fought
in the street.
They fought at this ain't no boxing ring.
Right.
This ain't no boxing ring. And then they was fighting in the backyard, and like Rocky hit him with a trash can. So I just thought he was a made-up movie boxer.
No dog. No dog. He was Tommy Morrison was like the great white hope for a minute.
Look,
there,
I
man.
got the whole rundown about him.
They gave you the rundown?
Right. I thought he was a made-up boxer.
Did you see him get knocked out?
I mean, you slow down. I wasn't looking at no video.
No, you need to see he gets knocked the hell out.
I mean, Sylvester Stallone hit him with a trash can in the backyard of his house in South Philly. This ain't no boxing match. This ain't no boxing match. Because Rocky was from the streets.
No, man. No. He got knocked out.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, I mean, these names are going to mean nothing to you because you don't follow boxing.
Hey, in that case, you should probably make up some more interesting ones.
Razor Ruddock. There's a name.
Yeah,
He got stretched by Razor Ruddock, and then Lennox Lewis pummeled him for 6 rounds before putting him out of his misery.
Okay.
Yes, yeah. And they tried to blow this man up like no tomorrow, man. And like, no, he was a bum. And I think he even got caught like on steroids or something like that, man.
I know Rocky hit him with a trash can. This ain't no boxing match. I was like, ooh, this is very exciting. Rocky V. And then at the end, his son took him into the museum. All these years I've been running up these steps. I never actually went in.
I don't believe you didn't know that he was.
I mean, why would I have known that? Like, why would I have known that?
Let me just humor me here.
Okay.
You do know that the stars of Space Jam and Space Jam: A New Legacy
are basketball players.
Are actual professional basketball. Okay.
Dude, don't act like every other single solitary thing in the Rocky mythos was fake. Clubber Lang. How I just forget my Russian man's name.
Oh, not Vladdy Divac. What's his name? Dolph Lundgren.
No, that's the name of the actor.
Oh, well, that's what I wanted you.
No. I mean, like the character he played.
Oh, I
Apollo Creed, like these were all fake people.
Yeah.
And in the case of Apollo Creed and the Don King character, they were facsimiles or caricatures of Drago. Like Drago didn't actually exist.
I will break you.
Right. If he dies, he dies. Like these weren't, like no one was an actual person in Rocky. Like I don't know how suddenly in the 5th Rocky, they bring a real dude in, and I'm the one that's crazy for not knowing that this one dude in 5 movies of fake dudes, this is the one real dude.
Oh yeah, he was a real deal. He's a real deal.
I know Rocky hit him with a trash can.
Yes.
This ain't no boxing ring.
Yeah, he didn't belong in a boxing
ring. It was very exciting. They came to Rocky's back door, and the Don King guy said, "We demand to fight this, that, and the other." And Rocky was like, "I know you didn't just come to my house." And then he beat his ass.
He did.
Because the Don King guy said, "Oh, we should save it for the boxing ring." And he's like, we're going to do this right here.
Yeah.
Why were we talking about that?
You brought it up. All eyes point to you, bro. You're the one who brought that up. I would pray up them. Tommy Guns. Stupid movie. Rocky 5. I don't mind it. After Rocky 2, I stopped.
Oh, you're crazy.
I mean, I've watched Rocky. I mean, I've watched them.
Crazy.
I watched Rocky 3, of course.
Rocky 3 and 4 are legitimately great 80s films.
They're not great.
They are great.
They're not great
80s films.
I'll give you maybe Rocky 3. I'll give you legitimately Rocky 3. Rocky 4.
So Drago won great. Rocky fighting the Russians for us as Americans wasn't great.
The movie is not great. The movie is 3 or 4 montages. It's not a good movie.
You're insane. You're an insane person. Rocky 4 is fantastic. And Rocky 5 is quite entertaining.
Okay. All right.
Because the Don King dude, the other thing, he didn't wear a shirt. Like, who was the other promoter? Remember, it was Don King and it was the other promoter who never wore a shirt under his jacket. He wasn't as big as Don King.
Oh,
but he was a pretty big promoter too. Butch Lewis?
No, was it Butch Lewis?
Is it Butch Lewis?
I don't think,
because he would wear like a suit and a bow tie, but with no shirt
Butch
on.
Lewis.
Yeah, Butch Lewis.
Yeah.
So it really did capture. You know what else?
I always thought Butch Lewis like a Joe Frazier's little brother.
We should, and I keep forgetting. I want to do The Great White Hope, talking about them propping up Tommy Guns. The Great White Hope, it was a really interesting movie, if I remember it correctly. Damon Wayans, Samuel L. Jackson.
Samuel L. Jackson is kind of like a Don
He's
King.
The Don King dude.
Yeah. I don't think I've actually ever saw that movie.
I remember it being really interesting. And to be fair, I haven't seen it in years. But The Great White Hope. But that whole deal with the white boxer.
Well, I mean, it's a
phenomenon.
It's a thing, man. Shoot, man. We could go down the road on some
right
boxing.
All the way back to Jack
You
Johnson.
don't want to go.
I kind of do because I know that's your jam.
Yeah, you don't want to go there, man. You don't want to go there. Maybe if you come over one day for a fight night, you'd have a good time. Yeah.
Will there be snacks?
Yes, there's snacks. Okay. We always have snacks.
All right.
They have like cheesesteaks.
All right.
We get it in.
Because I have no interest in the actual box.
Absolutely no.
None whatsoever.
And neither does half the people here.
Right.
They don't care.
You're just drinking and
they're just drinking.
Right. Eating snacks.
Talking shit.
All right.
That's what we do. Yeah.
We should probably talk about the movie.
Are you not entertained?
Are you not entertained? And we'll timestamp it.
Yeah, we'll timestamp.
So if someone wants to go right to the review, see how that works.
The review doesn't start till an hour 15.
All right.
The show's only an hour 20. Yeah. Anyway, let's get into our review of Barbershop 2, Back in Business. But not before trailer talk.
Not before trailer talk, but a short trailer talk.
A very short trailer talk.
Is there anything you want to address in trailer talk? Any issues at hand that need to be discussed here in trailer talk?
I don't know if Toya is listening right now, watching the show, but I have discovered one other person. There apparently is one other member of the Ralph Tresvant fan club.
I think it might be more than one other person, but go ahead. Who is this person you're talking about?
Former guest to the podcast of the Philadelphia Inquirer, Elizabeth Wellington. I had an opportunity to speak with her the other day about a project, and I don't know how we got onto New Edition, but we got onto New Edition. We immediately jumped off New Edition Expressway onto the Ralph Tresvant on ramp, where she said, "Oh my God, I love myself New Edition. Wait a minute. I mean, I love Ralph Tresvant."
Love Ralph Tresvant.
And then she went on to tell me about her immense obsession
with Ralph Tresvant. Did the police have to get involved?
I would. If I was Ralph, I would be on the guard with that. Which made me think.
Okay.
We jokingly talk about, Nia Long with me and Anika Noni Rose with you.
She's so talented.
Both of them.
Yes.
Very talented. But I wondered. Oh, I even got a better question. I don't think I've ever asked you this.
Okay. Orange.
No.
Okay.
Who was your first, celebrity crush?
It is so funny we are talking about this because we had an extended conversation this weekend about Lola Falana.
Really?
We were talking about the Rat Pack, Sammy Davis Jr. Lola Falana ended up floating around because my friend thought that Sammy Davis Jr. had married Lola Falana. He mixed her up with Altavis.
I can't picture Altavis, so I don't know what that
Altavis, Fawn, long, lanky black dancer. I mean, she's no Lola Falana, but
that's what I'm saying.
Right,
I don't know.
He knew that Sammy Davis Jr. had married a dancer.
Oh, okay.
And he thought it was Lola Falana. It was like, no, he dated Lola Falana and quietly dogged her a little bit, but he married Altavis. So we're talking Lola Falana. I guess, I have to say, I always start with Maria on Sesame Street. It's like I have my diamond. It's Maria from Sesame Street, Lola Falana, Thelma from Good Times, and Nichelle Nichols on Star Trek as Uhura.
There you go.
Like that's like everything, like all four of them imprinted on me very early.
Got you.
Like by the time I was 8, that it was in my head.
Wow. Okay.
The four of them.
I feel you. I know Lola Falana. I've seen her in some things. I don't know if I ever really knew that, was dancing her first claim to fame?
I believe she was primarily a dancer, but then all of those.
Yeah, you become 60s, an entertainer.
70s. Right, exactly.
Right.
But I believe she was primarily a dancer. And Lord, the outfit she'd have. We were looking up pictures of her because my friend was trying to remember. I don't even know how you show something like Lola Falana to a 4 or 5-year-old. It's just unfair. Because she certainly looked like a dancer. Like that was her primary thing. Lord have mercy.
Interesting. I'm trying to do that diamond thing you just did in your head. And with me, it goes Elizabeth Montgomery.
Okay.
Love myself some Bewitched. Julie Newmar, the original Catwoman.
You were right in that nerd sweet spot right now.
Yeah, boy. Then I would say I did have a thing for Maria, but I mean Maria didn't imprint herself on me like that. Wow, I'm trying to think.
I mean, certainly Nichelle Nichols is in here somewhere.
See, here's the thing about Nichelle Nichols. I thought Nichelle Nichols was crazy beautiful. But Nichelle Nichols always seemed like she seemed like unapproachable to me. Like she seemed like this is like
right. She wasn't even a real person.
Really, for real. Like so like to me, like Julie Newmar, just because you look at her in that catsuit, but Nichelle Nichols just like I can't touch.
I'm gonna go deep real quick and then come right back up. Even Mirror, you heard?
No, see, but when I watch Mirror, I like, yeah, she's crazy sexy.
That's parallel universe, Uhura, and it's an evil universe. So in the evil universe, women wear less clothes. So she actually has her midriff out and a dagger.
I actually have her Funko Pop right over there.
So just trying to give people a visual.
But see, you distracted me because I was almost there. Who my next one was? My real crush, honestly, was a very, very, very young, but I was young too because we were in that same age group. Janet Jackson.
Okay.
And then it probably was Thelma.
Yeah, Thelma is just.
It probably was Thelma. Because Thelma was some things.
And again, and imprinted.
Yes.
So many boys.
Yeah. And here's the thing. I think like Nichelle Nichols was like this star, and Janet Jackson and Thelma, Bernadette Stannis, to give her a propers, like led me to like they led me away from Elizabeth Montgomery and Julie Newmar, right?
Right.
I mean,
Julie Newmar holds up.
She definitely holds up. She definitely holds up. And then when Eartha Kitt came into the catsuit, it was like, wow. But the only thing about Eartha Kitt though is that I was old enough watching her in a catsuit saying, wow, she looks good in a catsuit, but also old enough to say, ooh, she looks a little older than Julie Newmar.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, but that's, and then, now all roads lead to Nia Long. And like my diagram now is Nia Long, Anita Baker, and the rest.
And the rest. It's like the first season of Gilligan's Island.
Oh, and I think I sent you to YouTube. I don't know if you saw it.
I did see it. I was, I think, in class when you.
Anita Baker sang the theme song to the show Mad About You.
Yeah, that's right.
And she did like the long version with Paul Reiser on the piano. I didn't know that he actually played piano. He was pretty good.
One of them dudes.
And you can't buy it streaming. I have always loved that, but I saw the YouTube of it. My God, I love myself so many to pick up, man. Those sleepy, smoky eyes. Ugh. Oh my God. Woo! Jesus, I love Anita Baker.
All right.
Oh, speaking of singing, and then we'll get to the movie.
Okay.
I promise you this. Another former guest of the show.
Okay.
Summer Willow.
Yeah.
Who's been on the show.
Did you say Summer's actually around right now? I thought you called her out at the beginning of the show.
Well, she's watching us.
Yeah.
She's
okay, go ahead.
Did you know that she's a singer?
I thought I did.
She was in Atlantic City.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I caught the video of it. She was no joke. She was up there singing Michael Jackson, Earth, Wind, and Fire. She was singing everything, man. She was no freaking joke.
You thought she was just a mixologist.
Who knew, man? She sings with this band, the Philly Soul Collective.
Okay.
I invite you all right here on Trailer Talk. Go look them up on Instagram. Follow them. They are phenomenal. It was, I'd sat and just like binge watch all of their videos. They were incredible, dog.
All right.
Really dope.
Let's hear for Summer Willow Fitch.
All right. Okay. Miss McKeeva said, be sure to timestamp Len's fit over Anita Baker. For Unfortunately, this appeared during trailer talk, this won't make the show.
Right.
Oh, if we hadn't run long in the beginning, I would have edited in, but no.
Yes.
No. Why couldn't Anita Baker do a movie? I could talk about Anita Baker all day.
I know.
Why didn't she do like a concert movie?
I know. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna look up Anita Baker. I bet she was in some movie. I don't care what the movie was.
All right.
Maybe The Last Dragon 2.
The Last Dragon 2. The Dragoning.
All right. Let's get into our review.
All right.
What are we watching? Barbershop 2.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And
just tell me to go.
I will tell you when to go, my good friend, and you are invited to go, my good friend, right about now.
Barbershop 2, back in business. This sequel to the 2002 film returns to the Chicago barbershop owned by Calvin Palmer. His employees, Isaac, Terry, Ricky, Dinka, and Kennard, have their own personal and workplace problems, and a new barbershop called Nappy Cuts has moved in across the street. As Calvin tries to change the character of his business, Nappy Cuts and gentrification become a threat to the surrounding community. Barbershop 2, directed by Kevin Rodney Sullivan, with a script written by Don Scott based on the characters created by Mark Brown, returning the cast of Ice Cube, Cedric the Entertainer, Sean Patrick Thomas, Eve, Troy Garrity, Michael Ealy, and Leonard Earl Howes, as well as new additions to the barbershop world, including Harry Lennox and Queen Latifah, was the choice of Lynn Webb. Lynn, what say you of Barbershop 2?
I was really looking forward to watching this film for two reasons. One, because I wanted to close out our summer with a fun film.
Mm-hmm.
Just a fun time sitting around, just laughing at a silly comedy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And two, because I had honestly, and now having rewatched it, am certain I hadn't watched Barbershop 2.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I enjoyed the first Barbershop, and I think I maybe caught parts of Barbershop 2 over the years, because I seem to remember the whole scene that takes place at a cookout.
Mm-hmm.
I seem to remember seeing that part again before, but not much else from the movie. So I was really looking forward to returning to this, especially in light of us revisiting Barbershop as we did earlier this month, and delighting on how much of a fun film that was.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not anything that takes itself too seriously, but just a fun time at the movies, right? So I was really looking forward to Barbershop 2, and for the most part, I was rewarded.
Mm-hmm.
For the most part, this is a good film. It returns a lot of the cast from the original film, if not almost all of them, except of course Keith David's character is away.
Right.
And some characters have less to do in this movie because of some new additions. They smartly focus most of the action in and around the barbershop in this film. So you get more scenes in the barbershop, more of the camaraderie, no cutaways to, you know, the Anthony Anderson subplot of the first one.
Right.
Now any cutaways are few and far between. And when they do, you know, it's usually by virtue of the character Calvin, Ice Cube, taking us to that other scene.
Right.
As opposed to, you know, somebody else. It being like something that doesn't have anything to do with what we're here for, which is our barbers.
Right.
Right. So that's smart. This is a film set in 2004 that wears this 2004 on its sleeve because it's the beginning, or we're right in the if not the beginning, the right nearing the crux of gentrification in black neighborhoods and here on the south side of Chicago,
right?
With the whole Nappy Cuts venture coming in, a lot of the smaller businesses in and around the barbershop selling out their selling their stores, taking the quick money and retiring people who have been there for years. We're introduced to more of the neighborhood. We return to we don't really return to the bodega down the street, but we see the owner of the bodega. But we do see that there is kind of like a daycare that is in the area as well, that run by Miss Emma, that has been there forever. She even, Ice Cube was there as a kid, and now his son, who was born in the first movie, attends there. So you see the daycare. Not the greatest looking daycare, to be fair, but it's a daycare in the neighborhood. Neighborhood daycare, and it's part of the community.
Yes,
and this is all about trying to build out the community, right? And all of that is pretty good. You got Harry Lennox twirling his mustache is only evil Harry Lennox can do.
Yeah,
I mean, if they ever make the Snidely Whiplash the movie, Harry Lennox has it sewn up, right? Because he's no joke. He's actually, it's fun to see him there. The shame of it is he's just not in the movie enough, right?
Right.
Because I think most of the twirling of the mustache is given to the alderman character, Lalo Brown, played by Robert Wisdom.
Yeah, how about that?
Of the Wire fame.
Yeah, almost unrecognizable if you know him from The Wire.
Almost unrecognizable, but you're quickly reminded.
Yeah.
In the barbershop, and he's having fun. He's having fun, and I enjoyed watching him in the movie as well. But I think this is a film that ultimately, while I like it, I want to like it so much more. And I think the problem is that the movie's trying to do a little bit too much, especially in trying to build out the Cedric the Entertainer's character, Eddie, by giving us his backstory, basically his origin story, of how he came to be a part of the barbershop as well as a part of the community.
Right.
And I'm not saying that's not a bad instinct to try and fill in the gaps of his backstory. They're not gaps that any of us were asking for. But it's not a bad idea to do it. I just think there is a way to do it and make it germane to the ongoing plot.
Sure.
And I think they fail here.
Sure.
And going to the flashbacks, you see how he actually came to be a part of the barbershop, basically trying to steal meat so that he could barbecue for his family.
Right.
And then runs into the barbershop back in 1967, I believe.
Yeah, 67.
July 4th of 1967, runs into the barbershop, and Calvin's father hides him from the cops for him, because he just, I'm cut you a break, bruh. And he appreciates it. And then I can give you a real life. Boom, he's got a life there at the barbershop. And you see him kind of try and find his way in the barbershop. You see him one time rolling with the Black Panthers, but that seems to go a little left. You see there how the streets are about to go erupt at the assassination of Martin Luther King, but it is Eddie who actually keeps the streets from attacking the barbershop, to which Calvin's father Calvin Sr. is forever grateful, and thus Eddie will always have a seat there and doesn't have to pay rent for the seat. All that's kind of cool. All that could have been handled in about 2 or 3 flashbacks.
Sure.
You flesh out his story. It's done. But there's about 3 or 4 additional flashbacks where we learn that Eddie is like, thinks he's a member of like he's got his own kind of like wannabe 4 tops.
Yes.
That he's like trying to put together. He's got a, I'm not mad at him for having a relationship or having some type of a relationship with a lady, Loretta, who he sees on a passing train, played by Garcelle Bouvet-Nylon. A beautiful woman. I've always thought so.
If you're going to hop a train.
I would hop the train for her. Yeah. And I point out her beauty primarily because outside of being a beautiful woman, she does nothing in the film. And I think she maybe says 2 lines in the film late in the film.
Yes.
Other than that, she is just this figment of, this object of desire for him, who he does get, we learn.
Right.
But we really didn't need to.
Right. It doesn't really add to the movie.
In
the action
and it really doesn't add anything to his character even. It doesn't.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't inform his character. It doesn't inform his character in the future in any way. So that ultimately becomes a distraction, and again, and maybe having too many toys to play with. When we do have those flashbacks, sometimes the flashbacks are in color, sometimes the flashbacks are in black and white.
Yeah.
Sometimes the flashbacks are like there's like just a spot color that's highlighted, like the reds are highlighted. It doesn't know what it wants to do as far as what story does it's trying to tell visually. Mm-hmm. So then I'm like really at a loss. It's like somebody's got a bunch of toys and they're playing with it and they're having fun, but they're just not putting it together to make a cohesive story.
Right.
And then I also think in trying to give everyone at least some type of moment in the film, I think it bends over backwards where it didn't need to. I mean, because you've got Queen Latifah, as you pointed out, who is highlighted as a special appearance by Queen Latifah. So that means that Queen Latifah is going to be coming in and out of this film, which means that we also have to cut to the beauty shop next door for the banter of the women in the beauty shop. Yeah. Why? I don't know. It doesn't inform anything to the movie at all either. And Queen Latifah certainly has a couple of scenes with Calvin, Ice Cube's character, where you learn that they had a past relationship. Right. And then she has a very memorable scene with Eddie at a cookout. To me, that's enough to qualify special appearance by Queen Latifah. Absolutely. You don't need to go to the beauty shop. Right. Well, you've established the beauty shop, which is fine, but you don't need. I mean, they go back to the beauty shop for cutaway about 2 or 3 times. Yeah. And I maybe once. I don't think you needed to go there 3 times. If what you're doing is to set up the inevitable, spin-off, which is beauty shop. Yeah. I think 2 or maybe 1 time is enough. Right. And then if people want more, they'll beg you for more unless you've got beauty shop. Right. So I think that this is trying to set up a whole bunch of stuff, and at the end, and I'm going to leave room for you to speak here. I think it just tries to do too much. I liked it. I just really wanted to like it more. Yeah.
Well, it's a sequel. It's a sequel, and unfortunately, with the sequel, it's a zero-sum game. Right. Either it's better than the first one, or it's not as good as the first one. Right. And almost by definition, if a film is successful enough to garner a sequel, the sequel has a high bar to get it over. True. Because it's the sequel to a film that was successful enough that they greenlit a sequel. Right. And this is not as good as Barbershop. No. I still like it.
Yes,
I still like it. I think I will start with in many ways I thought was the greatest misstep. Bless you.
Thank you.
And then go for it. I think this is a case where the filmmakers studied what worked well in Barbershop, paid attention to the critique, the criticism around Barbershop, and you get the sense that shaped how they did Barbershop too.
Okay.
Very beginning, I think everyone agreed that Eddie was the breakout character from Barbershop. So the instinct is the people want more Eddie.
Double down on Eddie.
I think the misstep occurs. I always think of the playwright August Wilson, and someone said one of the criticisms that August Wilson, you think about Fences, the Piano Lesson, 7 Guitars, so on and so forth. People say that August Wilson's plays are oftentimes black people, and usually black men, sitting around telling stories to each other. And August Wilson said, well, that's the way black people communicate.
Right.
We sit and we tell stories to one another. And I think it would have been much more effective if those actual flashbacks didn't occur. And Eddie just talked about them.
Yeah.
And even with the story about the riots, I thought that would have been a great opportunity for someone like Checker Ed to
Checker
Fred to pipe up and say, why your daddy gave him a free seat, right? And then get him into it, and you maintain that oral history that was so strong in the first one. Again, my absolute favorite scene in the first film is Eddie teaching the younger barbers how to use a straight razor.
Yeah.
But he's talking to them. But they use flashbacks. And as far as flashbacks go, I wish they would have handled them differently. But Cedric the Entertainer, I think, is very personable.
Yes.
He looks like he's always having a good time. So I thought it was a misstep, but it certainly wasn't a deal breaker for me.
Right.
You build out the community. Barbershop is very much part of the community. So now we're going to build it out. So now we have the alderman that comes in and everything with the alderman. And he's like the alderman Davis out of Good Times. Like he's the sketchy alderman.
That's who I was trying to think of.
Yes. Regentrification is certainly a going concern in these urban spaces. And the feature of regentrification where these franchises come in and close down everything, whether we're talking about coffee shops or restaurants or this. And I don't know if you remember, there was a minute where they did try to do this with barbershops.
That's true.
And it failed miserably for the reason it failed. Like a barbershop is not something that you set up like McDonald's.
Yeah.
So, I understand that. Again, the two additions to the cast, Harry Lennox, Queen Latifah, and I'll get to Queen Latifah in a second. These are good actors. So it's solid. It's just a sequel to a film that was better. I think there was a lot of conversation around the lack of female voices in Barbershop. As much as we appreciated the spaces that they found, there still weren't a lot of female voices.
No, it's not.
To their credit, I think the filmmakers, everyone involved in Barbershop, listened. So they said, how can we get more female voices into Barbershop? I know. Let's go into a beauty salon.
Right. And they've already established in the first one that there was a beauty shop next door.
Like you, I could have done without it, mainly because I'm in Barbershop to visit old friends. Right. Like I want to see what's happened in the 2 years that have passed. So while I like Queen Latifah, I actually like the little the little beauty salon cast and the conversation, what I thought was innocuous and okay. I just would rather have been in the barbershop.
Yeah. And they also, to be fair, they steal moments where they could have really truly fleshed out the lead woman of Barbershop, Eve,
right, but still, they kind of build out a little bit the character. We learn a little bit more about Dinka. We learn, Sean Patrick Thomas's character. I just forgot his name. I'm looking right at him. Jimmy. Yeah. Jimmy is left and he's pursuing his political career. Ricky is more than just pretty odd thug. Like you see, there's a little depth in there. I have to say, the sexual tension between Ricky and Eve's character, which bled off the screen in the first film, I thought they showed admirable restraint.
Yes, they did.
Before actually going through with it. It's a great reversal that now Isaac is the man. Running joke in the first film is that the white barber can't possibly be a good barber. Now they have this, and now he's the man. And now, appropriately enough, Jimmy, who gave him his shot, can't get in his chair.
Got to use Booksy.
So don't get me started. You trying to trigger me. Booksy is the app that barbers are using to make appointments, and my barber has started using Booksy, and I hate it. Going, this man, almost 10 years. Yo, I see you in 2 weeks. Like, I don't know why, I'll see you in 2 weeks at this time isn't an appointment. Anyway.
It's say 11 o'clock on your little computer there. Right. That means you get out the seat.
Right. And I felt like I knew you was in that shot. I thought you were in that scene. Oh, my, don't even get. Oh, all right. Anyway. I understand the instincts. I admired how deep they went into the well for the first film, like even bringing back Tom Wright as the detective for a scene. The brother who Calvin gave the free haircut.
Oh yes,
is in this film still getting haircuts. I just forgot the comedian's name. He's in Blackish.
Yes, because he's there. Oh man,
Dion Cole.
Dion
Cole is still around. We already talked about Checker Fred. You have a callback to the apple juice. You have all these it's a film that really cares about its connection to Barbershop. But ultimately, like you said, as much as I liked it, and I really liked Barbershop too, I don't like it as much.
Yeah, see, and I hear you on elevating or having more women represented, that it's a female voice more represented in the film. But like I said, I think that the opportunity was there to showcase Eve then.
Right.
I also think, and I don't know, but maybe this speaks something of the actress, there was an opportunity to do something with Jasmine Lewis as Calvin's wife.
Right. But see, then you have to leave the barbershop. Like, Eve really is the point person for what you're talking about.
Yeah, but dude, even if certainly I think more of it could have been done with Eve. Because honestly, them talking about how she had kind of turned this new leaf outside of a couple of lines.
I know
she really didn't. Right. Yeah. I mean, if you want to count the yoga type / Tai Chi Kung Fu thing she did on the beach, other than that, she really is pretty much. She looked the same.
I know.
Same chick to me. But I remember enjoying the scenes that Ice Cube had with his wife in the first one, and then seeing that they brought back the same actress. I would have liked to see her have more to do.
Right, and I liked the couple of scenes they had together.
Right, yeah. And I think you could have done some more with her. Like, why couldn't she, when he actually goes down to make his big speech at the end, why couldn't she go there with him?
Sure,
he was going to go.
Sure,
because they were a team.
They absolutely.
So. I don't know. It's a nitpick, ultimately, like you said, it was a sequel. We like it well enough. There are definitely moments in here where I cracked the hell up.
Oh yeah.
I laugh. I do like Cedric the Entertainer. And when he is just Eddie, present day Eddie.
Yes.
He is phenomenal, especially when he was talking about, I can't talk about Luther Vandross. Why can't I talk about Luther Vandross?
Yes.
Which is, you can't talk about Luther Vandross. He is one of those people that you just, you can't talk about.
Oh, yeah.
I did think it was kind of a little eerie, them making the R. Kelly jokes that they did back in 2004, which was, right at the time of the infamous video.
I have said for the past couple of years, R. Kelly is the great crime of Gen X. Because there was not one moment that all of us didn't know exactly what R. Kelly was doing.
Yeah, that's true.
From the moment he was a shadowy figure in the background on the cover of 15-year-old Aaliyah's album, Age Ain't Nothing But a Number, we all knew exactly what R. Kelly was doing, and we thought it was funny. We made jokes about him peeing on a teenage girl. He got married to Aaliyah. And we all stepped in the name of love. And when IFC did the Trapped in the Closet and showed all of the Trapped in the Closet videos, I DVR'd it, and I would watch it every year because it cracked me up. And yes, so in 2004, they were in the barbershop making jokes about the R. Kelly. It doesn't even feel right to call it a sex tape because that girl was underage.
I'm proud to say I never watched any of those In the Closet videos.
They are quite entertaining.
I've not seen anyone, ever.
Yeah.
No.
But I liked it.
Deborah Battle points out that this was the first movie of a very young Keke Palmer.
Keke Palmer. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And had a speaking role too.
I know. Up against Cedric the Entertainer, going toe to toe.
It's like her and Megan Good was in. Was that Friday or was that Friday that Megan Good went to? Remember, Megan Good went to bought ice cream
Friday
from Pinky.
That's right. That's Friday.
And she says, "I hate him."
Yeah.
So yeah, that
That's
sure
right.
was. This
That's
sure
right.
was.
And Down to Mars Girl on YouTube wants to know what you think of Kenan Thompson. I don't know why, but I'm just answering the question.
Unnecessary, but I think my generalized feeling about the whole movie is that Barbershop has so much goodwill from me that I just let that slide. Like Kenan, it's Kenan Thompson.
Yeah, I want to like Kenan Thompson more. Like, I think he's good. I've seen him in a bunch of things, and he's okay. But I feel like I should like him more. Even when I see him on SNL.
I think a lot of it might be an age thing.
I guess, but see,
like I think a lot of people grew up with Kenan Thompson.
Yeah, because
now he's
what was the name of the show?
I mean, he was on All That, and then it was Kenan and Kel for years.
Kenan and Kel, yeah. Welcome to Good Burger. Good Burger. Take your order.
Which I guess we should do Good Burger at some point.
At one point, we will.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not mad at it.
It's arguably an important film.
Yes, it is.
So,
I
didn't mind. That's my answer for everything in this film that otherwise I would have hated in another film. I didn't mind.
Let me ask you.
Okay, Orange.
Would you suppose you've got your barber?
Yes,
but suppose the swanky nappy cuts opens up.
No.
Are you going to at least check it out?
No.
You're not even going to check it out.
It's not what you go to the barber for.
Okay.
No. Yeah. I actually hated that period when people were trying to poach barbering. Like there was a period where like other communities were trying to come in and gentrification. Like there was that moment where people were trying to step into that barber space. And I am proud to say that Black men resisted it.
Yes.
But no, not at all.
Yeah.
Yeah, not at all. You?
No, yeah. I told you. Well, I mean, one, I haven't gone to the barber.
Right, but in theory.
But in theory, no. Because that's the type of place where the barber I hate works. The barber I hate is the barber that is dressed better than me.
Oh, here you go with
like that. My barber should not be dressed better than me, because now you don't want to get your clothes dirty.
Look, it's about the culture. That one, there was a little detail at the end when Eddie is holding court and he's about to go into the Luther bit, and they cut to the door, and a little boy comes in.
Yeah.
So the little boy hears it.
Yeah.
But that's what it's all about. You know, I said when we talked about Barbershop, like it's all like this is a continuation of this culture. No, I'm going to a barbershop.
I'm just ready to let this go, but you brought it up. So that moment, when that kid that's come in, I think that's what they're going for. What you just said.
Yes.
I don't think it lands. It's because it's not edited well.
And it's not organic. They don't organically set it up. And at this point, they're very consciously trying to kill a sacred cow.
Yeah.
And they were trying to figure out what's the most sacred cow that I can kill, ironically, and not be too controversial. Because in 2004, it's always something crazier you can say.
Yes.
But they didn't say it.
Yeah.
Because now it's Barbershop 2, and now this is an endeavor.
Right.
So
yes.
So I agree with you. It didn't land.
Okay.
It didn't land. I actually thought the most electric moment in the barbershop when the brother from the Nation of Islam sat down, and there was that quick back and forth about the nation of. I mean, it's Chicago.
Yeah,
it was that
because he was talking
back and forth about him and being in the Nation of Islam, and they were talking about religion, and there was that kind of moment of electricity that you get in an actual barbershop.
Yeah,
but then they had to pull up,
right?
Because again, now it's Barbershop 2.
It's Barbershop 2.
Like Barbershop 2 is never going to make a joke about Rosa Parks,
right?
Like this is Barbershop 2,
right?
It's a whole lot of money on the table.
Yeah.
But I like the sentiment. I like the sentiment of, again, there are these boys in the shop, and they're learning at the, they're listening and they're learning the culture.
Right.
So,
right.
But the question, of course, or you finished? Were you finished?
I'm finished.
Sorry. The question, of course, as always, would you recommend Barbershop 2 back in business?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I like I said, I liked it enough. I think it's a fun movie. I think it's a good time. I think it takes itself a little bit more serious than Barbershop.
Yes.
But not too much more seriously. So there's enough fun stuff in there. Like I said, there's weird editing. There's weird special effects going on in this movie for absolutely no reason.
They got some more money.
Nothing to the story.
Got some more money.
But that besides, it's a fun film, and I think people will enjoy it.
Absolutely. If you love Barbershop, it's infectious. I did the same thing this week that I did a couple of weeks ago after Barbershop. I almost watched this immediately after, and when this went off, I almost, if I had time, I probably would have watched Barbershop 3.
Which I haven't seen either.
Not because I don't think Barbershop 3 is as good as this. And even in the trailers, you can see that the wheels are a little wobbly. But I love these characters. These characters are like old friends. And it's really great checking back in with them. And there's certainly a lot more good than, I'm not even going to say bad, just there's a lot more good than not as good as the good. Yeah. But even the not as good as the good, whether we're talking about Kenan Thompson, whether we're talking about the flashbacks with Eddie, whether we're talking about the various subplots with the characters. Absolutely. If you love Barbershop, absolutely, I would recommend watching Barbershop 2. And I know you love Barbershop, so
So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Check out Barbershop 2 back in business. It's streaming somewhere.
Oh, please.
You'll find it and you'll enjoy it.
Through a rock, you can find Barbershop 2.
There you go. Before we get out of here, a couple of messages, ladies and gentlemen. I invite you all to check out if you like our podcast, and we know that you do.
Why are you listening, you weirdo?
Quiet.
Go do something that brings you joy.
Anyway,
stand they asses.
Why don't you check?
Is it Tuesday yet?
Check out The King of Crenshaw, a 4-part podcast focusing on how the late Nipsey Hussle's life, death, and legacy deeply impacted the sports world. Is presented by ESPN's 30 for 30 and The Undefeated, and it is available everywhere that you find podcasts. And I want to get this information correct, so bear with me, Vince, for 1 second, because I'm going to do this in real time.
Okay.
Because there is something else I want to give the people, to tell the people to check out. And I'm going to ask y'all to just bear with me as I do this. And here it comes. There it goes. I think that is it. Yes, that is it. All right. There is a new video game that just premiered recently, Avengers War for Wakanda. It's a huge endeavor that just dropped, and we're not about giving out free advertisement here on the Michelle Mission.
We're not.
But if you are a fan of video games, and if you are more to the point a fan of that game, I invite you to pay attention to the a couple of the roles in that video game, and specifically the character of Ayo, AYO, who is one of the Dora Milaje in training, and one of the elders of Wakanda, because that character is voiced by a very good longtime friend of myself named Tamika Simpkins, who's doing big things in the voiceover field out there in California.
Very nice, Tamika.
Yeah, so she is actually a voice in a couple of voices actually in Avengers, in the new Avengers, Marvel's Avengers War for Wakanda video game.
Okay, excellent.
So check that out.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So much props to Tamika.
Okay,
I am sincerely very, very happy for her. Very proud for her. All right.
Go see Candyman if you are inclined to go to the theaters.
Yeah. And
shout out to Nia DaCosta. Very happy for her.
Yes, please go see. And if you're in the Philadelphia area,
shoot Lynn a line.
I'm looking for someone to go to the movies with. Let's see. I want to go on Saturday, but Saturday afternoon. Be good Saturday afternoon, right? Just shoot. Because Vince won't go.
No.
Vince won't go with me, ladies and gentlemen.
Only thing scarier than Candyman is the Delta variant.
Well, that's true. I might even make it a double feature, Vince. Because Candyman is in theaters and Shang-Chi drops this weekend.
Does it drop this weekend?
Yeah. You're not going.
No,
anyway.
No.
So shoot us a line. And if you don't want to shoot us a line about that, ladies and gentlemen, you can share all of your thoughts and concerns or anything about the Michelle Mission. Email us at meshowmission@gmail.com. That's MICHEAUXMISSION. The Michelle Mission, 2 men, 1 podcast, every black film ever made. Go to our website, michellemission.com, where you can hit swag to check out all of the cool designs we have available for your buying pleasure by way of our good friends at T Public. Like and follow the Michelle Mission on all the social medias, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, you name it. You can find us at Michelle Mission, which is a proud member of the Podglomerate, curated podcast for your curated pleasure. Go to thepodglomerate.com. They make podcast work. All right. Next week, Vince.
Yes, sir.
It's your turn.
Yeah. I love these moments where they aren't theme months, and we just sort of pulling moves. Hey, we should. And next week we are doing a film that I almost chose earlier this summer.
Oh, really?
When we did New Jersey Drive. This is a film that is part of a fairly small group of films that Spike Lee produced as opposed to directed. So he, got the financing, some guidance, and it kind of fell under his umbrella. And it is a film that I remembered liking a very great deal when it came out. And I'm wondering how well it has aged, especially as many of us have much more nuanced views on blackness and what does and does not constitute being black, if you will. And this would be a film from a year I don't know because it's not in front of me.
1994.
1994 with starring Eric LaSalle. I am talking about Drop Squad. So Ving Rhames,
Bondi Curtis Hall, Cassie Lemons, and directed by David C. Johnson, and as you mentioned, produced by Spike Lee.
Yeah,
a film that I have not seen.
You've never seen Drop Squad? Okay, interesting.
Nor have I heard of.
Oh, you don't remember when people were saying that N-word needs to get drop squatted? That'll make sense next week if you've never seen it.
That must be a Baltimore
thing. No, it wasn't a Baltimore thing at all.
They never said that in Philly.
I hope. Well, we'll talk.
I don't remember it.
It's some people in the chat right now know exactly what I'm talking about.
Maybe they weren't saying it to me.
And they were right.
Apparently, I didn't need to get drop squatted.
Right. Well, hopefully not. Hopefully not. But this will all make sense next week.
Robert Monroe Jr. is all down. He said that's a good movie. That's definitely a good movie.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. Especially now that I know that you haven't seen it.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to that.
All right.
So yeah, next week, Drop Squad.
Next week, ladies and gentlemen, on the Michaud Mission, Drop Squad from 1994 for all of you out there watching the films along with us. And we really appreciate that.
Absolutely.
All of you. And it would be nice to hear from some of you. I think some of those people that watch it, they just watch it and then they listen to the review and they keep it moving.
Right.
But it'd be nice to hear from some of you who are watching the films along with us. It'd be kind of dope for us to check out your views on the films. All right. That's it for this evening. Until next week. He's Vincent. I'm Len. And in parting, we say...